The MIG Switch is officially in the market right now, and at the time of this recording, it actually just sold out. And updated news regarding the Switch 2 that can actually be possibly coming this year of 2024. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Yin Yang TK everyone, and today we're going to talk about the MIG Switch and the Switch 2. So the first thing is the MIG Switch. Now if you remember in the last video I talked about this product. So the product was the MIG Switch. It was a flash card that is making Nintendo very angry because this device has the ability to pirate games, Switch games. But there are a couple of corrections I wanted to clarify from my last video. So the first one is, if you remember where I talked about where you couldn't purchase this game on their website of the MIG Switch, the reason why is because in the Contact Us page, it's actually for retailers only. So you cannot purchase it from them. They actually have to have distributors or retailers sell the products to the public, right? So that's the whole reason for that. And the second thing that I also wanted to clarify was that you not necessarily have to hack or mod your Switch for this flash card to actually work. You don't need that because the MIG Switch is basically a simple plug and play kind of thing. All the thing that you have to do with the MIG Switch is, in the instructions that you were seeing in the page. So those are the two corrections I want to talk about. But then again, like I said, I am very cautious about this product because I'm basically going to wait to see if this product, because for me, is just too good to be true. Since that time, the MIG Switch was, I should say, in the market. But at the time of this recording on January 4th, 2024, it actually just sold out. And this is actually the first retailer that we know of that is selling the MIG Switch. I went to Twitter. There was a page called Homebrew Homies in which offers the service of modding your Nintendo Switch and sell already modded Switch systems. They have become the first online store that I know of that to begin the MIG Switch sales, basically saying they have a small quantity of MIG Switch. When you go to their page, of course, it says that it was sold out. But when I was watching it and reading it last night, I was seeing that it was going for $65 plus $12.99 of shipping. The estimated delivery was between, I guess, early or mid-February. That's what they were kind of looking for of the window. And all I'm going to say about that is that if you are interested in that and if you have purchase it on your own risk, right? You already know my thoughts about that. You already know that I'm really paranoid, especially with the Nintendo Ninjas. But again, I'm gonna do exactly what everybody else is doing. I'm just gonna basically wait and have someone post this item on their YouTube channel and see how it works and pray that they do not fall victim to the Nintendo Ninjas. The second thing I wanted to talk about was actually breaking news regarding the Switch 2, in which they say that it could be coming in 2024 of this year. So there was actually a post on Twitter in which was basically posted by VGC, in which it said that the Nintendo Switch successor will launch this year and will likely be iteration of a current hardware design rather than a revolution. So in this article, it basically says that according to the Dr. Seiken Todo, CEO of Tokyo-based game industry consultancy Kaden Games, who contributed his forecast of the 2024, it says, although the company is yet to comment publicly, Nintendo's next generation console is widely expected to launch this year after VGC reported that development kits are in the hands of developers as the platform holder prepares its plans. According to Kaden Games, Todo, the console could launch at $400, which is $100 higher than the Switch launched at. And there is a chance that games can adopt the $70 price tags of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So this makes a little bit of sense, right? Because we're talking about a next generation console, and then for $100 extra since the last launch, and we're talking about the situation of the economy, it makes sense, right? Because if we're talking about PlayStation and Xbox, right? Nintendo wants to stay competitive, and if, for example, this Switch 2 is going to be a next generation console, it better be worth it, right? The $70 price tag, that I kind of don't agree with. I thought that Nintendo was not going to be at the same position as PS5 or Xbox Series X, but I think that changed, especially with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, because that was actually the very first Switch game to come out at the $70 price tag at the time that it was released. Now, Tears of the Kingdom is a very good game. It's a blessing in the respect that it was one of the best Zelda games for the Switch, right? But it's also a curse because despite its overall high sales, that made it actually proof that a $70 game wouldn't be a problem for consumers. So we are ourselves to blame that we basically bought Tears of the Kingdom. And I don't agree with it, because I think if you're talking about games that are being ported, so if we're talking about GameCube, Nintendo 64, Wii games, PlayStation games, Xbox games that are being ported to the Switch 2, I don't think they deserve or should be priced at $70. I think it should be cheaper than that. But if we're talking about like new games, like Mario games, new Zelda games, new Metroid games, new Pokemon games, then yeah, I think the $70 price tag is okay, but I don't like it. Going forward to the article, according to the industry consultant, Nintendo's next-gen console will again have portable functionality, as VGC reported last year. The next system is also likely to be an iteration rather than a revolution. Nintendo might add some bells and whistles to the device, but it will be similar to their current Switch. And because there is Pokemon and Pokemon is associated with handheld gaming, there is no way on earth Nintendo will drop the portability feature for the next best thing. So that actually is pretty good. So that means that the Switch 2 is actually going to be similar to the Switch. That could also mean that it could be backwards compatible. So all of your Switch games that so far that you've been collecting will probably work on the Switch 2. Because like it said, they're only going to add some bells and whistles, but overall, the Switch is still going to be the same, which it is freaking amazing. It kind of reminds me what happened with the 3DS. So if you remember back in the day when we had the DS, right, the carts. So if you look both of those carts, the DS ones were black, while the 3DS were white cartridges. So I have a feeling that maybe the Switch 2 is going to have kind of like the same thing, where if you notice that the Switch games are black cartridges, and then the Switch 2 could have a white colored cartridge with kind of like maybe like a little like a dent on the side or something, so that you can kind of distinguish what's a regular Switch game and what is a Switch 2 game. And it's saying that the portable functionality will still continue, and we have to thank Pokemon for that. Pokemon, you're awesome, and that's why you're my top 3 games of all times, right? That's why Pokemon is there. As it continues, it says the Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa declined to comment on plans for the company's next console in November, as it announced Switch had cleared 132.46 million lifetime sales. And if you're looking at the chart right in front of you, you're seeing the Nintendo sales per region. So the blue one is Japan, the red is the Americas, the gold or yellow is Europe, and then the other is, the rest of the world, right? And you notice that it was steadily increasing from 2019 all the way to the highest in 2022. But just last year in 2023, it actually started to decline. And on their chart, it's actually predicting that it's gonna dip immeasurably on 2024. So that means that we're already looking at the end of the Switch, and we're looking at the beginning of the Switch 2 being launched this year. Despite unusually strong performance for the console entering its 7th year on the market, Switch hardware sales are clearly in decline, especially in major markets outside of Japan. In Nintendo's last fiscal year, Switch sales have declined by 22% compared to the previous year. And if it reaches its current target of 15 million for this year, that will represent a further decline of 16.5%. Overall, all of what I'm hearing from this is really good, meaning that the Switch 2 is gonna still stay portable. There is a possibility that it's going to be backwards compatible, so you can be able to play all of your Switch games. But I am really sad about that it's going to be a little bit more expensive than the Switch, original Switch. which it makes sense because it's the new console, right? And that the games could be possibly more expensive, about $70, which I'm not happy about. But we gotta start somewhere. So what about you guys? What did you guys think about the mixed Switch already being sold out? And also, what do you think of the features that are coming back to the Switch 2 that is coming later this year in 2024? And what features would you like for the Switch 2 to happen, not just backwards compatibility? Write your comments below, and if you like the content of this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification so you know when future videos are available. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and again, stay awesome.